Welcome to the Great Basin Fire Potential Briefing for Thursday, May 20th. Over the last 24 hours, we've seen precipitation continue to move across, especially the northern areas of the Great Basin. Some areas have seen light amounts of precipitation, but some of these darker blues are indicating precipitation amounts of over a quarter or over a half of an inch. We've also had precipitation in recent days that have totaled over 1 to 2 inches over parts of the northern half of the Great Basin. So we have seen wetter and cooler conditions. We also had some lightning activity accompanied with some of these showers and thunderstorms. Looking at the Great Basin fire activity, we've only seen light initial attack with a few new fires across the Great Basin in the last 24 hours. Over the last 7 days, precipitation has continued to target the northern half to 2/3 of the Great Basin, leaving southern areas very dry. Even over the last 30 days, we've seen well below normal precipitation over the southern half of the Great Basin, with still some pockets of above normal in the far north. How this has impacted our fuel conditions: most ERCs have declined recently with the cooler and wet weather in the north and are below the 50th percentile, but we're still looking at areas over southern and eastern areas of the Great Basin, where eastern Utah is now seeing ERCs that are above the 70th or 80th percentile. And looking at how these ERCs relate to normal, this bottom right map shows southeast Utah, and you can see ERCs have not only climbed above the 80th percentile, but are near record highs for the time of year. So again, very high and very dry over areas of southern and eastern Utah. Further north, we have seen ERCs take more of a significant dip with the recent moisture and cool temperatures. Our satellite image from this morning shows that area of low pressure over Montana with the first cold front that moved through the Great Basin. Now we have a secondary area of low pressure off the northwest coast, which will push another cold front through the Great Basin over the next 24 to 36 hours. Later this afternoon, that cold front will move into northern areas. We will see clouds and occasional showers, but also an increase in winds over parts of Idaho and especially along the Sierra front into northwest Nevada. Otherwise, dry conditions will continue in the south, and we will continue with low to moderate fire potential across the region. Relative humidity will remain below 10 to 15% in the south and be quite a bit higher further north. So looking at areas where it will be windy today along the Sierra and Sierra front, we will see those wind gusts between about 30 and 35 miles per hour, with some spots getting up to about 40 miles per hour. We will see relative humidity between about 15 and 20%. So not super low, however, in areas where we do have some carryover grasses, if we do get a fire start, we could see a brief spread with those winds. As we move into Friday, that cold front pushes into northern and central areas of the Great Basin. So we will see again another round of cool temperatures and showers in the north, but winds will pick up further south on Friday and be strongest over the southern half of the Great Basin. So we are indicating some high risk for those gusty winds and low relative humidity over southern areas of the basin where our fuels are most critical. Looking at our relative humidity, RH drops into the single digits to low teens on Friday in the south, and also again those winds. Some of these winds in the pinks and purples are indicating wind gusts above 40 or 45 miles per hour once again. So windy and dry conditions will again impact southern areas of the Great Basin. As we move into Saturday, this cold front quickly moves off to the east, and we will see a ridge of high pressure start to build off the west coast. This will allow for some gradually warming temperatures early in the weekend and a return to low to moderate fire potential. We will see relative humidity increase a little bit over parts of even central and southern mountainous areas of Utah as that area of low pressure moves through, and also wind gusts will decrease significantly on Saturday with just some gusty winds around 30 miles per hour in some of the higher terrain. Forecast amounts of precipitation are indicated here with that cold front as it moves through for the next couple of days. Again, we will see that precipitation targeting the northern half of the basin with the heaviest precipitation amounts across Idaho and Wyoming. As we move into Sunday, again, that ridge still gradually builds off the west coast with gradually warming temperatures and drying fuels. You'll see a lot more brown on the map as we go through the next few days from the weekend into early next week. On Monday, the ridge continues to build. We will see temperatures gradually increase this weekend and reach the 80s over the northern portions of Nevada and Utah, and reach the upper 90s or near 100 degrees over parts of southern areas of the basin. Again, continued drying we will see gradually from south to north into early next week. As we move into Tuesday and Wednesday, we will continue to watch areas of low pressure off the west coast to see if they will bring any moisture up into the basin for possible thunderstorm activity. So again, we'll continue to watch that. Models haven't been super consistent, so right now we're just monitoring that. But we will see the fuels continue to dry on Tuesday and then into Wednesday, with many areas over the southern half of the Great Basin in yellow or brown category for our significant fire potential. 7-day amounts of precipitation are indicated here. This is mostly what we're seeing here for the next few days. with this secondary cold front coming through. Otherwise, drier and warmer conditions through the weekend and into the early part of next week and the holiday. The 8 to 14 day outlook shows warm conditions across much of the west, but we could potentially see some precipitation targeting southern areas of the Great Basin, and this is taking us towards the end of May into the early part of June. So we will continue to watch that, as any moisture in the south would be much needed. That concludes our webcast for today. Check back tomorrow for the latest updates.